Hello, and welcome to another episode of Sports by Compian. My name, of course, is Stephen Compian, and I am rejoined by a very special man of this podcast. Cory Compian's back, motherfuckers! Woo! Cory, how are you today, sir?
Doing fantastic. Went to the gym, pumped some iron.
Iron? At the gym?
You gotta wear a tank top for arm day, Steven. I don't make the rules, I just enforce them. And if I see anyone doing curls without like a tank top, I go there and I rip their sleeves off and I yell, "These are the fucking rules!"
Now, Cory, you know I like you, but I'm going to go ahead and call bullshit, because I, personally, have done arm day with you. Not in tank top, because I own like two. So, you definitely didn't rip my sleeves off.
Well, Steven, that's because
I said right. So. Oh, okay. Well, fair enough. I gotta accept you because I'm your brother. Is that what?
No. So the ninjas were busy that day. Usually, they do supporting actions.
Now, is it? Because I've been looking into the market of this, right? Because ninjas are useful. But like, are you paying your guys a lot? Like, do you have to get workman comp for them too, insurance, the works, or like, can you hire them as like 1099s?
Well, so I usually just tell them, like, hey, we gotta do this amount of hours, and then, it's kind of like a pay
contractor, so you bring them in, like, 1099 type of thing. They're not really your employees. I got it.
Right.
So that's maybe why they're busy too, right?
Yeah, because, you can't always hit the market rates.
Right, exactly.
Sometimes someone else just outbids you for that particular day, and you're like, do I really care about enforcing people wearing, tank tops for arm day? And like, some days it's like, yes, we do. Other days you're like, not really.
Okay, all right. So it's a flexible rule. But anyway, Cory, why don't you go ahead and tell the audience where you've been, what you've been doing to these poor Costa Ricans who are trying to play football. Tell us all about it.
I have been a very sleepy boy because I went really hard for my last year of football. So I was like, I'm going to become a weekend drinker. So something about being a daily drinker that then becomes a weekend drinker is it gets really hard to sleep. So I've had really shitty sleep on top of Monday raiding, then Tuesday going to practice, and then Wednesday back to raiding, and then Thursday back to practice, and then Friday chilling, Saturday chilling, and then Sunday a game.
Damn.
So
a full schedule.
Very, very full schedule. Which, I was really just, of course, going to the gym on the chill days and on the raid days, because trying to maintain things. But all that on very limited sleep made it difficult to make the podcast. But as of last week, season wrapped, and I got 3 days a week back, so that's pretty cool.
Let's fucking go.
Like a whole half week now to just stare at walls and stuff.
Dude, I'm kind of excited about it, honestly, for when the summer comes. Like, we're going to cut back to, it's just touch, maybe once a week. Ren might try to push it to 2 times a week, but I will be making it once a week. And then, there'll be tournaments on the Saturdays, so I am looking forward to that as well. I got 3 more practices before, and then 2 more games before my season's wrapped, and yeah, it is very time-consuming. Like, it's great. I love it. I fucking love it myself. I know you may have some feelings about your team, but I fucking love it. But holy shit, is it time-consuming. And like today, I had to leave my house at like 2:10. And I just got back like a little while ago. I had to go line the field with some of the girls. We had no idea what we were doing, so we were winging the fuck out of it. Took forever. Led all the way up into practice. I had to like abandon them with the project and run off to practice. But like,
good luck, I'm out.
I mean, frankly, I was fucking up the lines anyway. I was doing a terrible job for some reason. They kept on fucking pulling on me. So they're like, yeah, get out of here, Steven. We'll do better without you, probably. But anyway, yeah, had to abandon that job. So anyway, Cory, so tons of practice and stuff, and I assume this leads to tons of victory, right? No drinking during the week, showing up to all the practices, probably tons of workouts in there. Your team must have, went undefeated. Oh, wait, not undefeated, because you've already told us you've lost a couple games here in the pod. But, those were the last ones, right?
What was the last game I told you about? The Toros game where our guys
I think so.
Watch and not play with us?
I think so, yeah. You were pretty fired up about it. It was good times.
Yeah, so after that, we played the Tigers, I want to say, which we did win in a nail-biter. We got our first touchdown of the season.
Let's go. You won. Nice.
We won. We plugged in a new quarterback who, cool dude. He was pretty much with the team, but he was just on the defense. And then whenever our current quarterback, we kind of realized he wasn't it. He kind of like stopped showing up. The other dude started doing well. Basically, he got benched. New dude came in. Way better quarterback. Way better arm. Way better leadership. Great accuracy.
Beautiful. And you know what's crazy is people don't realize that at that level, leadership fucking matters out of your quarterback. Holy fuck, it matters.
Dude, so this dude won me over. Like, so that first game, I obviously did like a million rounds with him in practice because, believe it or not, Steven, in spite of us having an attendance of like 6 or 7 guys per practice, I did not miss a single practice this year. Other than the one on my birthday, which I told everybody well before. Like, my birthday was on a Thursday. Mom was like, we're doing a dinner. And I was like, fair enough. Kat came from Cartago. Jerry came from Jerryland. And, we had ourselves a pleasant little dinner.
Sounds lovely.
But that was the one practice I missed. And they're like, yeah, we get it. But yeah, so new dude comes in. He does great. I played running back for him because none of our running backs showed up. Which was mostly just a blocking role. Like, I think I only got like 5 carries, which I didn't do a whole lot with because, I haven't played running back in like a year. And I'm just really fucking tall, so I'm pretty easy to tackle whatever people want to tackle me.
Unless you stiff arm the fuck out of them before they could close on your body.
Well, that's the thing, is it was all inside runs.
Oh, yeah, that's tough.
You can't really stiff arm when you're like got this much space, you kind of just got to put.
That's where you got. That's where you got to implement the short stiff arm, where you got to be strong enough to basically bench press the motherfucker off you, or or drive him into the ground. I've realized works really well too. But all of this key is to keep your feet moving and go really fast. It's the only way you're really going to beat him. But anyway, this is nonsense. I'm just throwing out. This is just shit I've been learning.
Stiff arm sewing, and I think I broke something in my thumb.
That's the problem with the short stiff arm. You're much more vulnerable.
Yeah. Dude. It was like a month ago, and my hand is still not cool, dude.
Bro, just this last Saturday or 2 Saturdays ago, I tried to stiff arm a motherfucker, and yeah, shit didn't feel good. I think I maybe got him, but I don't think so. I think he fucking beat the stiff arm and then fucked up my hand in process.
Dude, I remember just running and I hit a dude and I'm battling through this guy and I see someone else coming up, I'm like, fuck you, and I stiff arm him and just having this searing pain shoot all the way down to my elbow, and I was just like, oh my god.
And that's the thing, is you're also hitting pads and helmets and shit, dude.
So I hit the crown of his helmet.
Oh yeah. Yeah, all his momentum just shocked that little poor arm of yours. Your arm was like, come here, we got this! Oh shit, we do not got this.
Yeah, so my arm for sure didn't love that. It's still not quite over it, but season's over, so whatever. We powered through for the rest of the year. But I did lay some fucking mean blocks, dude. I had 3 pancakes where he was like, all right, we're rolling out this way. I was like, yeah. So we'd roll out, and I'd see the guy coming, and I'd just hit him. And I think for a pancake, technically you have to lay on top of the guy.
Yeah, but if he hits the ground, that's pretty good too.
Roll out. So he comes at me, I'd lay him out, and then go hit the next guy, and I did that. I did that twice. I felt like a beast, bro. I'm bullying these kids.
Let's go.
So we score once, they score once. We go to overtime. We score on them. At this point, I was benched on defense because our quarterback, who was a quarterback previously, he's like, well, now I'm on defense, so I'm just going to take your position, and I'm DN now. So I'm just sitting there just this fucking dude hasn't taken a single snap at DN, hasn't been to practice since he got benched. I thought he was off the team whenever he got benched because he just stopped showing up. And he comes back and is like, now I'm DN. And I'm just kind of all right, whatever.
It's almost like, Cory, and hear me out. Having a coach who makes those decisions matters. Kind of weird. Or a captain who can make those decisions. Anyone. You can't have anarchy. That's the sign of a bad team, is where you guys dudes just show it up and be like, I'll play defensive end. Were you quarterback last week? No, I got this shit, bro. I would just walk over and slap him. I'd be like, you're a quarterback, sir. Get out of here. Not even a good one. You can go to corner. You could go to cornerback after being a quarterback. You could go to safety.
He was a tubby boy. He couldn't.
Put him at tackle then. Tubby boys, you put a tackle then. Fucking defensive ends are your athletes, dude. They gotta be fast. They gotta put pressure on the quarterback. They gotta do shit.
Anyways,
Anyway.
I'm like, I'm not gonna battle you for this. Like,
Yeah, it wasn't worth it. I understand the drama.
My philosophy going into this was everybody on this fucking team wants to be the motherfucking chief. I'm just gonna be the best goddamn Indian on the team.
Yeah.
You tell me to do this, I'm gonna do that to the best of my ability. I'm not gonna fucking fight everybody on every decision ever. So finally, in the fourth quarter, like not even fourth quarter. We're like in overtime. And I'm sitting there and I'm fucking fuming because I'm like, I got taken off defense. I've been on offense and I have like fucking 5 carries. Like, what the fuck is going on here? So I finally tell the defensive coordinator, like, dude, this is bullshit. I'm quitting offense. Like, just put me on defense. This whole giving up defense for 5 carries, that shit's bullshit. I'm not doing it anymore. And he's like, oh man, I thought you were happy with offense. Like, oh, go in now. Like, on the last drive of the game when they're like at the goal line. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to go get a sack. So I fly in there first play, and this is third down. Just like tear through the fucking dude in front of me, which I feel kind of bad because I know the dude. He's pretty cool.
Fuck that guy.
He was going both ways, like he was offense and defense.
Fuck that guy!
I was building the most insane levels of cardio because I had just experienced the Toros game where I had to play both ways.
Yeah.
Like, never again will I be too tired to get a sack.
Yeah.
So I have like both way cardio, and I've just been playing one way, and I'm fucking pissed. So I just wrecked this dude. Like, he did not exist in my world, and like the quarterback owed me lunch money.
Right.
I'm like chasing this dude around in the backfield, and he's like, bobbing and weaving. The running back gets in there at some point. I like throw him aside, and like, so I basically just chased the quarterback. I almost got him. Like, I tapped his arm as he was throwing it, but like he threw the ball away.
Okay, nice.
So then they're going for a field goal because this is overtime, so it's like first point scores. And again, I'm lined up on the same dude, just blow right past him, and like I see the dude like waiting there to catch the ball to like set it for the field goal, and I just dive. I like got airtime and tackled him like before the ball even got to him. So the ball's like rolling around in the backfield, and we recover it.
Let's fucking go, dude! Holy shit!
Yeah. So, but the funny thing about it, dude, is like, so there's a video of it, and one of my teammates who was just kind of like near me, he posted on his Instagram like, no kick, because like you see where we both get in there, and you see me like dive and lay the guy out, and him kind of like standing there, and then he like puts his hands up and starts like celebrating when he sees we blocked it. So
not recovered the ball.
No, I don't know if someone else recovered it. I didn't see who it was. At that point, I was just like, I got up and I was like, that's fucking right. That's why I put me on defense, and like stumbled off.
Hell yeah, dude.
But so yeah, I was very happy that I showed up, and I was like, this is like in my mind. I didn't actually say that to anyone, but in my mind, I'm like, this is why you put me on fucking defense, because I do this shit, bro. Like the fucking tubby quarterback who just got benched, he's not gonna do this shit, bro.
Hell no.
So anyways. So that was our Tigers game. That was our first win. After that, I did a pile of bitching, and I was like, this shit ain't flying. Put me back on defense. And then that didn't really work out because I was one of the only, it was like me and like 2 other receivers showed up to practice the next week. So they're like, we're just going to do routes. And I'm like, well, sure. All right, I guess I'll run routes then because, I can't very well play D-end against no offensive line. So I just kept running routes, started realizing that this quarterback's actually pretty good. He was kind of felt bad about not giving me the ball. So he's like, nah, man, like we're going to game plan around you. So I think after that, we went into the Toros game. I think we went into the Toros game after that, which we got demolished, but we looked good. Like we scored.
I think we talked to you right before that game.
Yeah, so like this is the touchdown against, the now champions. They played 2 days ago on Sunday, and they were the champions. So, like, we scored on them, which was, our second touchdown of the year. So we definitely improved with this new quarterback.
Nice, dude.
Our defense did pretty decent. I mean, not really. We didn't really do that decent. But
tough day against that Scott son. He's pretty good.
He's decent. He has just an amazing supporting cast. So, but he also is good. He has a good arm. He's fast. So yeah, he's good. He's got that.
I do like it is what it is with like the relationship with Scott. Like, dude, I remember that kid when he was a fucking kid, like 5, 8 or some shit. Like I remember that daughter of theirs when she wasn't even talking. It's like it's fucking crazy. And now that dude's right. Now that dude's back-to-back Costa Rican champion. Like, goddamn.
Yeah.
Fucking,
Crazy.
they grow up fast. It's like, dude, I mean, you got Scott as your dad. Like, oh my god, I can only imagine the pressure. Like, even Scott mentioned in his Facebook post, it's not easy being the coach's son. I'm like, oh, dude, I can only imagine what you put that kid through. But you know what? He's gonna be better because of it. That kid's gonna be a hell of a lot better because of it. And who knows if he's gonna.
He's not out by it at all, though. Like, he's out there like fucking yelling. He's out there calling out players. Oh yeah, dude, he's loud. Like, on one, he was like, you know, Garita, right?
Yeah.
Term receiver for the Toros.
Of course.
Like at the pre-ball snap, he's motioning, and I guess Garita's not moving. He's like, Garita, what the fuck? And like yells at him, and then like, you know, Scott calls a timeout, pulls him out for yelling at Garita, and puts in their backup. And this is like on goal line. They're gonna score on us anyways, and their backup like throws a touchdown. Like, that's his punishment. Like, you don't get this touchdown because you.
I love that. I actually love that. That's fucking hilarious.
That's pretty hardcore, dude. Like,
dude, Scott's hardcore. That's why he runs that league down there now.
Yeah. For us, it was kind of like, you know, you're sitting there and like the executioner has his axe, and it's like right before he cuts your head off, it's like, wait, you fucking suck, new executioner, you get it, you cut off his head. So, but so in that game, towards the end.
How's that Toros O-line? Pretty fucking good.
Oh yeah, dude, they're the best. Like, so the thing is, like, any.
Can you beat them all? Like, did you beat some of those guys like throughout the day, or did they just beat you the whole day?
So, it's weird. Like, some of them I felt like they had their role, and their role was just to keep me from like getting in. Which our offense was our defense was so fucky that at some point they were just like, the ends don't go in. You're just kind of like contained. So our thing was try to push the outside shoulder to close the B gap while still watching the C gap.
Yeah.
So we never really blitz. So like most of them would kind of realize I was doing that, and they just kind of chill. Like, occasionally.
So that's the hard thing with the read on that is if it's a pass, then you gotta quickly transition to pass rush, right?
In theory, but there was never really enough time.
He's getting the ball out fast, huh?
Yeah. So but like occasionally I would be like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna do like a double move, and I would like fake to the C gap and then blitz through the B, and no one really stopped me on that. But that's also because I have like receiver speed, you know.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I play,
dude, it's how I beat people at defensive end for years. Like, I'm a smaller guy too, and it's definitely how you do it. Like,
yeah.
Speed kills.
You go from being like, you know, on the D line to like, all right, cool, now I'm gonna go run routes against like, you know, your 100-pound corners. Like, exactly. It's a weird situation in Costa Rica football.
Well, anyway, you were mentioning maybe something about so Toros, and then did you have another game after that?
Well, so the cool thing about that Toros game is I fucked up. I dropped a pass in the end zone. It was like for an extra point. Super heartbreaking. Wide open. Ball literally like it looked like it was gonna hit me, and then it got kind of low, and I tried to like fall and catch it, and I dropped it. And I was like, God damn it, this is the first pass they've thrown me this whole goddamn game. We're in the fourth quarter, and I drop it. So I'm fucking pissed with myself. So then I have to do a whole kickoff, and then I got to do a whole defensive drive, and then we go back to offense, and they're like, we're going to run down the middle. So I'm like, cool. I'm tight end, so I'm like, I'm going to get a linebacker because this defensive end's obviously not going to get there, so I'm going to go get a linebacker, you know, because what else am I really going to do? Because it's supposed to be down the middle. So I go there, I block my linebacker, and then the linebacker eventually gets off me because I feel like I'm blocking this guy for like an eternity. I turn around, I see the quarterback is like rolled out, and I'm like, what are you doing out here, sir? And he throws me the ball. I'm like, oh shit, pass. All right, so I catch it, and I get up from it. I'm like, all right, cool. You know, I redeemed myself. I made a catch because like I guess the middle was clogged, so he just like bounced to the outside.
Okay.
And then he just saw me open, so he threw me the ball.
Nice.
So then,
good instincts from the lad.
Yeah, no, dude, I'm telling you, he's good. The Pumas have a bit of a future with this guy.
Huh.
So, next play, I just run like an easy little seam route. I just get behind the linebacker, between the linebacker and the safety. He throws me the ball, catch it, get tackled. I'm like, cool, fucking 2 in a row, let's go. Then he's like, all right, so now run a go route. So, or like same shit, run a seam. So I'm running the seam, and I see the ball super fucking low and like in the middle of the field. I don't know how this happened. I do like this amazing like diving catch, like get under the ball and catch it for like a third time. I get up, I'm like, fucking 3 in a row, let's go. Like,
Let's fucking
huge
go, dude.
redemption arc. And then on the fourth one, I'm supposed to run a flag. He's like getting sacked, and he like tries to like shovel pass it to me, like he does like reverse pitch thing. So I'm like way downfield, come sprinting back. I like dive at the ball, couldn't quite get there for the fourth one,
Jesus,
but
dude.
it had 3 in a row, so it felt like a beast.
Nice, man.
So yeah, definitely good low redemption arc there. Then we had one more game that was going to decide if we made it into the playoffs or not, against the Knights, which were a team we hadn't played yet, but we thought we could beat them. It was either going to be them, or it was going to be us or the Tigers that made it into the playoffs, because the Tigers beat us once, we beat them once.
Yeah.
But there was some sketchiness going on behind the scenes. So the Tigers, they like didn't pay all the inscription money. Like the dude apparently tried to send some money from the States to a Costa Rica account, but then that account got frozen under suspicion of money laundering. So they're
nice.
like, I can't get my money out until this shit's resolved, so we just can't pay the league. Sorry. Same thing with the Knights. The Knights had apparently gotten like $2,000 from a sponsor. Their treasurer took that money, invested it in something, and then couldn't get it out in time to pay the league. So 2 teams had only paid half of the subscription. So both of them were ineligible for the last game of the season and ineligible for the playoffs, meaning we automatically passed because the team we were supposed to play was ineligible. We couldn't pay the field. So we get into the playoffs.
This is some Costa Rica football shit, dude.
Costa Rica shit, bro. So we get into the
Costa Rica shit. You're right.
The Lions, and we were suspected to get demolished by the Lions, but we actually gave them a good run for their money, dude. Like right before the half, we were like, I think it was like 6-14.
Wow.
Like we were battling it, but then it just starts sheeting down rain. There's like fucking lightning and stuff. And so if there's lightning, we can't play because, you can get struck by lightning or whatever. So we pretty much just have to wait for like an hour. We're talking about delaying the game, but they're like, the league has no money. We can't get a field. So it's basically like we forfeit if it doesn't stop raining, or like the game ends and we lose if it doesn't stop raining. So we wait. Finally, it stops raining, but a lot of our dudes didn't think the game was going to resume. So they like went to their car or took off their pads. I don't know. They tell us, cool, game's on, 15 minutes, everybody get on the field. So we do our warm up and shit. I stumble out onto the field and I realize like 2 of our starters aren't here. I don't know where they went during this rainstorm, but they're just not on the field. And these are like captains, like our middle linebacker is just not there. And I'm like looking around, and then they're like, Cory, you're middle linebacker now. And I'm like, shit, I'm middle linebacker. We're like on goal line because that's where they were before it stopped raining. But we only have to hold them for like 40 seconds. There's 40 seconds left in the half, and we're on goal line. But our fucking starters are off jerking off in the corner. I don't know, dude. Like, I see him like running across the field, like pads in hand, as we're like sitting there fighting for our goddamn lives. And we lost the game from that point. Like they started scoring, we couldn't get anything going offensively. Our quarterback got hurt, so we had like our backup in there at the end. Yeah, it got messy. And then like I was doing fine, I was like, cool, we're just we're losing a game. This is nothing new. But then in the fourth quarter, one of my teammates, he comes up, he's like, hey man, there's 4 minutes, like I'm on the field at this point. He's like, there's 4 minutes left in the game. And we're down by like 30 points. So I just want to say it's been a pleasure playing with you this season, and like shakes my hand. And then that's when it clicks in like, oh shit, this is probably the last 4 minutes of football I'll ever have. And like I almost started crying, and I was like, it's fine, just go kick someone's ass. And I tried to battle it out for those those last couple of minutes, but dude, it really felt like, so at that point, we had a bunch of injured people. We had a bunch of softies who had just taken themselves out of the game because no one wants to be part of a losing game. It really felt like just standing on top of a hill, just like final stand type shit, you know?
Crazy, bro.
Damn,
so that's tough.
Yeah, and they're just like driving on us. But I felt I had this one play where like they ran to my side, and I fucking smashed the DN, get off him. The lead blocker comes at me, smash the running back, and then like their quarterback's a running quarterback. Like this dude was running through everybody all day, and I just like perfect tackle, wrap up his legs, tackle for loss, and I'm like, fuck yeah, that's why you don't come to my motherfucking side.
And it was
dude. And that was like third down. They punted after that when we were on like our 20. So I'm like, let's do it. Like, even though everybody else is fucking, well, I mean, I won't say they quit. A lot of them were hurt and just, couldn't be out there. I mean, I was limping at that point because somebody, of course, had landed on my calf and fucked me up. But, you gotta power it out when you got 4 minutes left in your football career.
A lot of people just don't have a very high pain tolerance when it comes to these kind of things. When they're hurt, they think they're injured.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother topic. That's crazy though, dude. What a way to end your football career.
That was football. So I talked to him. There was talk of being like a Pro Bowl, but that is happening. I just wasn't selected because we don't get to pick our guys. It's basically the coach running the thing. He picks from our team, and he's the ex-Bulldogs coach. So he basically took everyone on our team who was an ex-Bulldog. Like of the 7 guys selected, 5 of them are ex-Bulldogs. One of them is a guy who broke his ankle in our playoff game. So it's like, you clearly don't know what's going on.
He clearly didn't fucking watch any film either, dude. That's annoying. Oh, it would have been cool if he could have played in that. Stupid.
It's whatever. There's talk of maybe the team that like didn't pay and got disqualified that we're supposed to play right before this last game. Maybe we'll play them in like June at some point. I'm not holding my breath, but we'll see. And then this Sunday was the final. According to Frankie, the Paros pretty much just bullied the shit out of the Lions. At some point, they even put in their backups, which you gotta love it. Whenever you're like so dominant that you can afford to put in your backups in the final.
It's pretty crazy. Well, state of affairs in Costa Rica football doesn't sound great, but let's move on to maybe more pleasant topics. Hey, Cory? Maybe some leagues
one more thing. They are talking about hiring me as a mercenary. They're like, hey man, just come down for the playoffs. We'll pay for your flight. I don't know how serious that is, or if they're just trying to flatter me, but that would be funny if I got hired as a mercenary to come down and just, play the last couple games of the season next year.
That would be pretty cool. But maybe you should just play football up here in the States. Or, and hear me out, rugby.
I'm thinking if I find a cool flag football team, I'll probably just do that.
True. Well, either way. Let's talk some MLR. So listen, dude. This American rugby league, some stuff is happening in it, Cory. And I know you've been out of the loop, but don't worry. It's gonna get you right back into this loop. You ready for this?
I'm ready, bro.
So this last week, dude, New York took on NOLA Gold, and now this was actually a pretty big game because both these teams were right around the same record, right around that 4-5 record, I believe, going into this game. Now, NOLA Gold had actually destroyed New York in a previous encounter, kind of surprising because New York is the defending champions. This is the best New York has looked all year by far. NOLA's had an early try. After that, the Ironworkers went to work, dude. They fucking looked amazing on offense. They were clicking. Their wings were looking fast, and they were in the right spots. NOLA just looked lost out there. They could not make a tackle to save their lives, and New York made them pay quickly put them into a hole. NOLA put up a couple tries in the end there, but they didn't give them the bonus try. Need 4 to get an extra point, which is going to matter down the road here. So, huge win for New York. They absolutely look dominant. You'll see the Utah Warriors took on San Diego Legion. This is a huge game out in the West. Utah Warriors have been playing really well. I think they're the only ones to hand San Diego that loss. I believe so. So San Diego only has 1 loss on the season. I think it came from Utah. Could be wrong about that. We've been wrong before on this podcast. Anyway, point is, Utah rematch against San Diego. The Legion showed why they're the best team in this league, Cory. They played around with Utah first, kept it close, but then Utah, what they've been doing is they've been getting that ball out to those wings, and those guys are fast. And the Legion were just shutting that down, and they were just keeping the ball, and they weren't fucking it up. They were just pounding with their big boys down the middle, creating space, and then just create some good opportunities. Good dominant win for them. You'll see the Jackals versus Old Glory here. Hard to say what the fuck happened with this game, dude. 3-7. I think. Oh, that's right. I think it got called because of lightning. That's right. Yeah, I think it got called because of lightning.
Goddamn lightning, man.
So, it did get called because of lightning. But seriously, the Jackals were like 3-0 at one point for a while. It took Old Glory a minute to get going, but then they did get that try. They had another one called back, I think, too. So they were obviously the dominant team, and they just barely squeaked that try right before it got called by lightning. It would have been hilarious if they would have lost to the Jackals 3-0 and got called by lightning. But that didn't happen to them. The Old Hounds went down to Atlanta and did what they do against mid-tier teams. They don't lose by much, but they will definitely lose. They're going to kind of get their ass kicked, but they're going to definitely put up a couple tries. So, 27-12 against a good team, I don't think it's a terrible loss. Some people may say not otherwise. They do their thing. They do their thing offensively. I just feel like these guys can't make tackles sometimes, the Old Hounds. And it's definitely coming back to bite them, obviously, against these good teams. So right now, Cory, the standings are pretty entertaining here in MLR Rugby because over here in the West, you got Legion, Seawolves, Houston, and Utah Warriors all fighting it out. And, Jackals and Hounds are just kind of hanging out here at the bottom, hoping for a win. And then over here in the East, it's really interesting because the Jackets are 8-2. So they're dominating the East so far, but then you got all these guys, 2 through 5, are all just fighting. They all have about the same record. They're 5-5, 5-6, 5-6, 5-5.
How many make the playoffs?
Good question. Good question. I do think they have playoffs, Cory, and I do not know the answer to this. Let's see if it's available for quick, easy access, and if it's not, we will quickly move on with our day. Let's see the schedule. All right.
Scroll down as far as we go. It'll say to be determined, probably.
Yeah. So it goes into June. God, it's gonna be deep into June, dude. We're gonna have plenty to talk about. All right, so it's in July. It finally starts. No, I'm sorry. So about late June. So to be decided. Looks like 2 from each.
So eliminator. Maybe that's wild card, and then conference. So
maybe 3 from each, maybe 2.
So one progresses, 2 and 3 play each other.
Yeah, that would make sense.
And then the winner of that plays for the conference.
Could be. So either way, about 4 to 6 teams will be going into the playoffs from MLR. It's going to be a fucking wild-ass chase to end out this season. It's going to be pretty exciting. Another season that has just kind of gotten going, Cory, is the old USFL. They're filling in for our friends over at the XFL, who are hosting their final this coming Saturday. So we had some football taking place. The Maulers find their first win of the season against the Philly Stars, and kind of a good win for the Maulers here.
Aren't the Philly Stars reigning champions?
No, they lost to the Stallions at the final, but they are reigning Eastern champions. And Cory, they're looking bad so far. I mean, they're 1-2, and we're 3 games into the season. But I mean, they look bad in their last loss, and they're losing to the Maulers, which this is the first win for the Maulers, second win overall, I think, as a franchise or some shit.
That's the thing about these feeder leagues, though. Is if you're good, most of your roster gets taken to the pros. I
guess, yeah.
Yeah. The XFL, one of their coaches, what are your goals for the season? He's well, to win a championship and to see 70% of our roster on an NFL squad.
That's cool.
Which is ambitious. 70% is high.
It is ambitious.
A couple, dude, the fucking Battlehawks, everybody from the Battlehawks got drafted. It's crazy.
We should really go over that. We'll have that in a separate pod. We'll go over all these people who went into that. But we had the Generals take on Michigan. That's old. Yeah, this is old. So yeah, that was the Stars losing last week, and then they lost again this week, Cory. And they lost to the Gamblers pretty bad. The Gamblers, kind of mediocre tier team, if you ask me.
Texas has so many fucking semi-pro
teams.
Oh, dude,
it's wild. Yeah. So now they got They got 4, dude.
Wait,
They got 4, yeah, because
we have 2 in this league?
because the XFL has fucking 3, dude.
No,
they got the San Antonio Brahmas or Brahmas or whatever the fuck too.
Brahmas. I forgot about the Brahmas. You're right.
Yeah, so it's freaking 4. It's 4 feeder league teams down there. I mean, Texas is big enough for it, but these guys are also in Houston. So right there on top of the Houston, what the fuck are the team from the XFL? Not the Gamblers, obviously.
So they got the Roughnecks. They got the.
It's the Roughnecks. The Roughnecks. That's what it is. Yeah, it's the Roughnecks and the Houston Gamblers. So they're both there in Houston, fighting over fans. Not the best strategy, if you ask me, Cory.
I feel like they could share.
Can they? It's a fucking spring league. I mean, I don't know.
It's a different league, you know. Like you root for the one team, and then once
they did schedule this right. They definitely scheduled this right, where they're not in direct competition with each other. I don't know if they did that intentionally, but that was pretty cool. Because now this is almost more of a summer league than a spring league that we're getting into now.
Talking about them combining, which is like, I don't know, man. Poor USFL. They got swallowed up by the NFL back in the day, and now the XFL is trying to swallow them up again. Like, just let them be a league.
No, I think that's actually a good strategy. Dude, there's not really that much competition, and then if they dissolve a couple teams and filter it up a little bit, and we get a better level of football, there's going to be more people paying attention, and overall it'll grow better.
But this is year-round football, pretty much. Like, this will carry us to the NFL.
Yeah, but I don't know if people are really going to watch that much, you know?
I mean, I haven't watched a single XFL game, so...
I'm not going to lie, Cory, neither have I. I've seen plenty of highlights, though.
I've seen them highlights. They look good.
They look good. Hey, Cory.
Yeah.
The Showboats found their first win of the season. And they did it on the road against Detroit. Detroit at home loses, and now they have stumbled to a 2-game losing streak. And they were looking decent to start the season at 2-0. But now have stumbled, Cory. What will happen in Week 5? Well, whatever's going to happen, someone's got to figure out how the fuck to break the Breakers, because they're looking good, dude. 4-0, just took down the Generals. Decent game out of the Generals, they definitely fought, but man, this was a defensive battle in that first half, and it is hard to move the ball against this Breakers defense. They are very good. They get in there, they pressure the quarterback. What were you going to say?
These guys are so much better than the Sea Dragons.
Which ones? You think so?
The Orlando Breakers, because it's the Orlando Sea Dragons, and I mean they had abandoned the Nucci, but he was like, I think he had the most passing yards, but they had like a losing record. I don't think maybe they made the playoffs. I'm not sure.
They did, yeah. They actually had a winning record.
These guys are 4-0, so they're definitely, off to a better start, I'd say, as far as Orlando teams go.
So you're really good. Okay. All right, so first of all, it's New Orleans Breakers, so that's Louisiana. Second of all, Seattle Seawolves are from Washington, Cory. State of Washington. That's where Seattle is. So Orlando's in Florida. I don't know. I don't know how.
I'm pretty sure they're Sea Dragons now, and they're in Orlando.
No, dude, they're the Seattle.
They're the Orlando Guardians. That's what I'm thinking of. The Orlando Guardians.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what I was thinking.
All right. Okay. But yeah, no.
I did confuse New Orleans. And
yeah. All right. Okay, cool.
I mixed up 3 things there for a trifecta.
No, yeah. So it was pretty funny though. But anyway, Orlando did suck last year. You're not wrong. Hopefully they can have a bounce back year. I think they sucked the first time around too. Although the XFL got cut off so quickly, it's hard to say anything.
Well,
if you're a Generals fan though, what was that?
They were in New York. They were the New York Guardians, and then.
Yeah. That's right. But if you're a Jersey fan, Cory, I wouldn't be too worried. This was a good showing, I think, overall. Their quarterback showed that he could make some plays under pressure. They had a nice doozy down the middle, but dude, the Breakers are looking good. They took down the Stallions last week, handed to the Generals this week.
Who's throwing for them? Because they had
the
Luis
Breakers.
Perez. No, the Generals, because they had Luis Perez.
Oh, it's like this Johnson guy. I don't know. Do they let you click on the game?
There's Luis Perez, but then he went over to the XFL, so obviously he couldn't make it back to this.
Right. No, this is the only one. Is it? Yeah, it is. Okay. So Thompson's over there for the Breakers, having himself a season. Although he had 1 interception, no touchdowns. Mr. Johnson. D. Johnson. Not a great game out of him. Fucking 4 attempts, seven completions, 1 touchdown. Yeah, 50% completion rate, 113 yards, mostly all on that 1 touchdown pass he had. So yeah, they need a better play out of their quarterback for sure. Our boy Victor, I think we talked about him last year. Actually, we have one of our pod has him out there. He actually had a costly fumble for the Generals, but he did overall run the ball pretty well. Obviously, Williams looked like he ran the ball a little bit better.
Is Victor the guy with the crazy thunder thighs?
Yeah, I think that's what I remember about him. Yeah. Dude, he was running people over in a couple of the highlights I saw. He is a hard runner, and he's probably pissed about losing the ball. Sad for him. But anyway, Corey, the last game was the Stallions and the Maulers, which honestly the Maulers put up a fight. Final on this one is 24-20. You know, that's a fight out of the Maulers. Good for them. Hopefully they can start stringing together a couple good performances and make themselves a good team. There just seems to be a lack of teams in this league, right? Like the XFL, I feel like has more teams than this. It's been crazy. Let's see how many teams are in this league.
6. That's gotta be like 8. I don't know, 6.
Yeah, no, it's 8. You're right.
8. Oh.
Yeah, the Showboats are newish. Who did they replace? Oh, they replaced the Bandits. That's right. They replaced the Bandits. That's what it was. But anyway, dude, this league is rolling. You know, we're gonna probably watch more of it. Some good football, and we will definitely try to watch the XFL final if I'm not getting hammered with the boys. So
fun fact: the DC Defenders are representing the state or like the area, the town of DC, for the first time in a professional sport since like 1992 or something crazy like that. Like none of their professional teams have made it to a championship in any sport.
Damn.
Since 1992. I don't quote me on that exact year, but it's like a long fucking time.
It wasn't 92 because that's the year the Cowboys won and the Redskins are in that division, unless it was a different sport they won under. Could be. But either way, it doesn't matter. I will take you up on that. That does sound like some interesting knowledge, and it does look like they're the favorites to win this. The Renegades kind of came away with a crazy win against the Roughnecks. I don't think most people expected that. Big upset, which is cool to see. You love to see it in a league like this. So I think it's going to be an interesting final there. Definitely got the Defenders to take this. Friend of the show, Dan, is obviously a fan. So right with the Defenders for this one. They got a fucking beast of a running back over there. What's his name? Fucking Abram or some shit. Dude's fucking huge. He just runs people over. So right on his back. I'm sure they'll be fine. Cory, do you have any party words to these fine people of the world? About their lives and the things they're going through?
Whenever you're working out, make sure you're eating enough protein and you're sleeping enough.
Wise words. Sports by Compian. Out.